Welcome back to Brad Pitt Career Mode on F125. Today we're back for episode number 3 of Season 2 in Japan. Unfortunately, there's not many upgrades we can do. We only have like a couple that are even available, so that's annoying. So basically, well, if you're curious, we have to unlock these. Yeah, the chassis and the aero breakthroughs, but those are engineering facility level 3, and we're not there yet. But we do have enough points for one upgrade. This is major rear downforce, so just throw this on. We do have a couple upgrades to put on the car for this weekend. Both of these are going to go to Brad Pitt, but you can see in, the driver parts, Alonso's pretty close to being equal with Brad Pitt's car. We've done a lot to develop upgrades for him as well. So we're not leaving him in the dust like we did with our last teammate. Okay, into the race weekend we go. We're at 2 race wins in a row right now, so hopefully we can keep that up. So last time out in China, we had a little bit of a problem with car setup. The setup is feeling a lot better right now, but I am a little worried about tire wear. It was really high around China, and this is kind of a similar track. There's a lot of medium speed corners, so I think we're going to see really high tire wear here too. So far, every race this season, we've been competing with Piastri or Verstappen, and I assume it's probably going to be the same thing this race. It's definitely a pretty scary combo with those two drivers at Red Bull, but hopefully, if we can keep the tire wear under control this race, we should have another good shot at winning here. All right, well, into qualifying we go. No sprint race this weekend. Thank God. It saves me a lot of time editing. Final lap in Q1 felt like a decent lap. We set a 126 point something. I think we were purple in the third sector, and that's good enough for third place. Okay. Final lap in Q2, 1.3 seconds up on our previous time. And it's also in the 126s. I think we just barely improved from our time in Q1. So that puts us in 4th place, but into Q3. All right, this is actually a decent lap, considering we're on the old set of tires. We're still in the 126s, but we need a huge improvement. All right, here we go. Final lap in Q3. This is where it counts. We were on pole position for the race last time out in China. Hopefully we can do that again. Okay, purple in Sector 1, 1.5 seconds of improvement up to the line. It's going to be our fastest time of all the sessions so far, and it's 2nd place on the grid. Not quite pole position, but that's pretty good. All right, mediums to hards, which is pretty much what we're doing every single race now, so nothing interesting in terms of strategy, but hopefully the mediums kind of hang on a little bit longer than they did in China. We had to pit a lap early, so hopefully this stint goes pretty well. But here we are, 2nd place on the grid. 5 red lights are on, and we are racing around Japan for round 3. It's a really good start off the line, flying past Verstappen already into turn 1 and up into 1st place ahead of the Red Bull. Absolutely great launch off the line right there. But I'm sure we're going to see a lot of pace from Verstappen. Okay, we've already pulled out a bit of a gap to Sainz in the McLaren behind. He's already a second back, but Verstappen is sticking very close to us down the straight into 130R. He's not going to go for a move into that corner, but I'm sure we'll see something on the straight. Yeah, here we go. We'll definitely see a move from the Red Bull into turn 1. Luckily, no DRS on this lap, but here goes Verstappen up the inside. We're going to squeeze him to the middle of the track and just close the door into turn 1, going a little wide through here. Luckily staying ahead of Verstappen, but we are probably going to have to use a lot of battery to defend from him. So our weakest point on this track is the double left-hander at the end of Sector 2, and that leads onto a straight. So if we get poor exits onto the straight, we're pretty much immediately going to be under attack from the Red Bull. So we need to try to get good exits out of there. Okay, here we go. Verstappen's going to have DRS for the first time this race, heading down the start-finish straight into turn 1. The Red Bull is gaining on us. We're going to squeeze him to the inside of the track, maybe try to cut underneath into turn 1. A little weird on the brakes right there. Verstappen's pulling ahead out of turn 1, and we could not make that move stick. So we gotta try to chase this guy down. Oh man, he's already added a couple tenths to the gap ahead. We're using pretty much all of our battery to stick with him. So he definitely is pretty quick around this track. This is gonna be a tough job to catch this guy. Okay, well we're still within DRS, but we're out of battery and not gonna be close enough to even think about a move into turn 1. This guy's very quick. I guess we lost a bit of time through the S's as well. 1.4 seconds is the gap. Wow, okay, so within 2 laps, Verstappen is just completely dropping us. We just cannot match his pace. That is crazy. I mean, we're slowly pulling a gap to pretty much the entire field behind us. It's just Verstappen that's absolutely running away. So I guess, I don't know, I guess Japan's just his track. Well, we can pretty much wave goodbye to Max Verstappen. He's 6.5 seconds up the road. We really haven't seen pace from the Red Bulls like this all season. We've been able to fight him for the most part, but he's just running away with this one. Okay, well, it's 5 seconds to Lando behind now, so we're still consistently pulling ahead, but the tires are starting to feel like they're falling off a little bit. Yeah, 56% on the front left there. Pit window opens in a couple laps time. Okay. There's not much to do right now besides just try to increase the gap to Lando. Piastri has been working his way through the fields, so I guess we'll find out soon enough if it's both Red Bulls that have that pace, or if Verstappen is just a god, which is also likely. On to lap 13. So pitting this lap for the hard compound tires, but more importantly, Piastri is gaining on us. He made a move past Lando and has been slowly closing the gap. So we're gonna see a fight with Piastri. Oh yeah, 70% on the front left. That is definitely not good. I really hope that we unlock more tire wear upgrades. There's no way that this is fully upgraded for tires. Okay, well, into the pit lane in a couple of corners time. Piastri's gained a little bit of time on us over the course of the last lap, so I assume we might see a battle with him towards the end of the race, but we should be fine for our first little bit on the stint. I don't know why we're in the first pit box. We turned in early, but let's see what the Brad Pitt crew can do. Looking like a pretty good stop. Nice and smooth from the team there, and we're inside Lando Norris. Why were we in the first pit box? Am I, like, missing something? We weren't first in the constructors. We've never been there. Is it different in Japan? Am I being stupid right now? Someone let me know. Wait, what? Why are we in lean fuel mix? And why can't I change it? What? Has that been going on the whole race?
Systems all looking good. Head down.
Okay. Oh, and it's back to standard now. What just happened? All right, gap to Piastri behind is 3.7 seconds, so we technically gained a little bit of time through the pit stop. I think maybe he had a slow stop or something. But I'm sure he's going to be catching up soon. Verstappen is still absolutely flying, so we're just going to be fighting for second. Okay, so I think Piastri is gaining by about 2 or 3 tenths every lap. I'm trying to keep tabs on the gap, but it looks like he's just slowly gaining on us. He's not making any, crazy progress, but in maybe 3 laps time, he might be within DRS. 3 or 4 laps, I think. So obviously we want to keep Piastri out of DRS, but I think to do that, we're probably going to have to use a lot of battery, and I think I'd rather save it for when he inevitably catches up. I'd rather have battery for a fight than to extend the gap. Oh, yellow flag up ahead. Is that Verstappen? On the... Oh. Okay. Well, the time has come. Piastri is within DRS, and we've got about 5 laps remaining in this race. We just have to hold off this Red Bull for 5 laps to keep second place. I mean, he's going to have DRS into turn 1. Hopefully, we can defend a little bit better than how we did against Verstappen. But we've got a lot of battery saved up. Here we go, DRS for Oscar Piastri onto lap 23 and heading down the start-finish straight into turn 1. He's already in the slipstream. He's already making a move to the inside. We're gonna squeeze him just like we did for Verstappen. Let him go wide and cut underneath the Red Bull. Oh my God. If he didn't back out there, we were going right into the side of him. That was close. Dude, I am so glad that Piastri backed out of that move. If he didn't just inch to the left right there, we definitely would have just slammed into the side of the Red Bull and potentially ended both of our races. We gotta be a little bit more careful next time. Okay, he's gaining on us into 130R, but this is gonna be a pretty sketchy move for him to make. He's on the inside, but he's gonna decide against the inside line into 130R, which is a very wise decision from Oscar Piastri. But on to lap 24 we go. Big kick of wheel spin on exit, a terrible exit onto the straights, dumping the battery. I don't think Piastri's gonna be close enough for a move. He's gonna sneak to the inside, but we can just close the door on the Red Bull and we're safe for another lap. So what I'm noticing is that we're really slow through these couple of corners, so any gap we build up to Piastri over the course of the lap, he can pretty much catch up right there, and then he has a straight where he can dump the battery and use the slipstream, and any gap we pulled is instantly gone. Yeah, there we go. Piastri's right on our tail, heading on to lap 25. We're gonna dump the battery down the straight. He'll have DRS. He's already going for a move up the inside. We're gonna squeeze him just like we've done over and over and cut underneath. This time a little more careful on the brakes. We're side by side on exit with the outside line into the S's, leaving just enough space for Piastri, but kinda closing the door. So if we can do that move over and over, we should be good. Yeah, he's sticking right on us. I think if we let him by, he's gonna absolutely run away, just like Verstappen did. A little bit wide through the hairpin here. Piastri sneaks up the inside. We're gonna hit the battery on exit, try to create a little space to the Red Bull, and pull ahead back into second place. This is getting close. Oh, he's right on our tail on the back straight here. Let's see if he goes for a move. If so, we can close the door nice and easy on the Red Bull, but he's gonna chill behind us, which is the smart thing to do yet again, and avoid losing time through 130R. So down the hill and across the line in just a moment for lap 26. It looks like Piastri is going to be a little too far back, so he's probably charging up the battery for a final lap push. But the only thing we have to concern ourselves with is saving enough battery so we have enough to fight him. We have some lap traffic that can potentially get in the way. It would be lovely if Lance Stroll could hold up Oscar Piastri for us, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We both get by him on the straights into the hairpin, so we're gonna have to just fight this out to the end of the race. We got one lap remaining after this one. We really need to keep as much charge on the battery as possible. He's gonna have a slipstream and DRS into turn 1, so we need to dump the battery on the straight and fight it with everything we can. Okay, here we go, just a couple of corners left, and then we're on the final lap of the race. We're gonna take a different approach here, just defend the middle of the track and see what line Piastri is gonna take, and we can defend from there. So here we go, Piastri in the slipstream, gaining on us. Into turn 1, he's going for the outside. We can pinch that off, and into turn 1 we go. Still in second place. Piastri didn't have time to make up his mind and switch to the inside. Absolutely perfect. It definitely is not over yet, though. There's still a couple of corners that could be overtaking opportunities for Piastri. This is one of them up ahead. Into the hairpin we go. And we're going a little bit wide. Piastri trying to sneak up the inside. We're going to dump the battery on corner exits and keep the space between us, staying in second. Well, Verstappen wins the race by an absolutely huge margin, but at the moment, we've got bigger problems to deal with. If Piastri wants to go for second place, he's going to have to go for a move into 130R or into the following braking zone. He's not going to be close enough for a move into this corner. It's all going to come down to the last braking zone, and I think we're far enough ahead to avoid any kind of attack from the Red Bulls, staying in second place around the last couple of corners. Down the hill we go, and up to the line to fend off Piastri and take home second place.
Really happy with the podium
Getting
down
absolutely
here, so well done.
destroyed by Verstappen. But we'll take the second place finish. Oh boy, that was a weird one. Well, in true classic Max Verstappen fashion, he won by 30 seconds. We were not touching this guy. That is absolutely insane. Well, after the first couple races, I wasn't exactly sure who we'd be fighting with the most for the title. But it seems after that performance that Verstappen is probably still the guy to beat. Well, what I'm taking away from this and from last weekend is that we really need tire wear upgrades. Like, really badly. That's pretty much the biggest weak point of this car, is the first stint on the mediums is always just absolutely brutal by the end. Well, the good news is we're still leading the championship with 71 points after the first 3 rounds. Verstappen is just behind us, a 6-point difference to the Red Bull driver. Piastri's starting to slip back just a little bit with an 18-point gap to us, and Fernando is in P5. I think he finished P5 that race as well, but unfortunately we've dropped down to second place in the Constructors behind Red Bull, so that sucks a little bit. Well, definitely not our best weekend, but also very far from our worst weekend. So we got Bahrain up next, which should be a pretty good track. It will be a lot easier on the tires, so we should have a lot of pace around there. We'll see how that one goes.